The Asian Avengers, so weak.
The Asian Avengers, so weak, so fuckable, bro. You know? Whoa. There's 5 Asian
And welcome back to another episode of Asian Not Asian podcast, a podcast where two Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no American cares about. Haven't done that intro in a minute. I'm your host Fumi Abe,
and I'm Mike Nguyen.
and today is June 6th. We're coming at you live from our respective homes in Brooklyn. And man, things have been fucking tense. It's been tense this week. I hope everybody's doing okay. You know,
You were bringing on that intro, and we haven't used that intro, Asian Not Asian, because we've been doing the lockdown series for a long time. And I just always forget about what this podcast is supposed to be about, which is two Asian guys not from Asia talk about American issues no Americans care about. And it's funny because when we first started this podcast, we did talk a lot about things that we thought nobody cared about, you know, Asian dudes getting laid or whatever. And in just a couple years, those issues are a lot different. And now we talk about things that Americans really do care about. We care about. And it's June 6th, 2020. I think it's, whatever, bad phrasing you want to put it. It's an unprecedented time. It's a time of change or whatever. But it's a time that I think a lot of people are trying to do something right, and we're trying to do the same thing. And we're two Asian guys that nobody cares about. We're talking about issues that people do care about, right? And I think that is we're trying to learn, and we're trying to grow, and we're trying to do something right. That sounds weird for comedians to say, because we're usually doing things which are wrong, sometimes on purpose. But today we want to do something right, and we realized that we couldn't do that just me and Fumi. We're dumb, but that's what we are. All right. So we wanted to help. We wanted to have people on here who can help us learn. And that's what I want our guest to do, and to just speak her experience. That's what we want to do.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this week a lot of people have been reflecting about how can I contribute, what can I do. People have been reading, people have been donating. That's all amazing. People have been protesting. That's amazing. I think what you and I can do is use this platform to kind of have an open conversation about, like the state of the fucking country and like what we can all be doing better and just kind of understand each other better. So that's kind of our aim for this week. And I'm so excited to, talk to our guest. She's been on the podcast before, and her episode is one of the top download episodes. People loved her. She is the writer for The Daily Show. She's also an actress out in LA. So let's give it up for Mayo, everybody. Woo-hoo! Yay. X, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's start here, man. How are you feeling?
How are you feeling?
I'm fucked up,
Yeah. That would are you out in LA right now?
Yeah, I came home to LA because New York not only was the epicenter for coronavirus, but my fucking manager in my building had the audacity to not tell us that multiple tenants have bed bugs in our building.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, God.
So on top of dealing with a fucking pandemic, it's low-key like not safe for my life to be outside, and I'm on the Upper West Side near Central Park. The fact that I had to hear about that shit from my fucking neighbors, and they made our manager aware. I mean, I already wanted to come home, but it just gave me more of an incentive. So I found out on Friday. I booked a flight for Monday, and I'm in my Airbnb right now.
Yep.
And I got tested for corona. Thank God I'm negative.
Good.
Because I came from New York and was on a plane. But yeah, so now I've been in LA, and I'm very happy to be home.
I love it. I love that you got your I don't know what you're drinking. What is that? Is that a green tea or?
Yes, I only drink matcha. I don't drink coffee, but I needed it because I'm so fucked up. I'm so fucking tired.
Yep.
I'm emotionally spent. I've literally, my homegirl yesterday was like, X, I feel hungover every day. And I'm like, that's how I feel.
Yes.
I've never even been drunk to be hungover, but my eyes are heavy from crying. My head is fucking throbbing. My body is spent. So I'm like, I needed something to get through through the day.
Well, I'm glad that Asian people helping you out with some matcha. So that's
Absolutely.
what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
You must have been tired before. Then
Yes.
and then coronavirus
Yes.
and then bed bugs and then this. Just
And
like
then my dad is dying from what we believe to be corona, but he didn't have enough symptoms to get tested.
right.
Oof.
Well, so then you're dealing with all the things you were before, but now you got like this whole virus aspect to it too.
Yeah. But also racism, I've been dealing with that since day one.
Of course.
And like a black woman posted that, these white people think that, it's because of George Floyd that we are, out here protesting. But we've been shedding tears since Emmett Till, which if your listeners don't know, is a young black boy that was wrongfully accused of raping a white woman, and he was killed. And she had later came out, I believe it was the top of last year, that she lied.
Yes. And after there's echoes of that now, even in our own backyard with Central Park. And that's still like that kind of language is still being weaponized against people of color all the time.
Yeah, Amy Cooper, that bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go.
Fuck her.
Yes. There you go.
Fuck her. Fuck her. And you know what? I saw a black man post that's why racism is not inward. That racism isn't slurs, and it's not just systemic. It's when she looked at him and she said, "You don't know your fucking place.
Yes.
How dare you tell me, a white woman, to follow the rules?"
Right. Yes. Exactly.
He didn't know his place.
Right.
To her. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, fuck her. I'm at the point, fuck you. Mm-hmm. Fuck you. No.
I feel too, you were just talking about, there's all these things, and you're right. This is bigger than one incident, right? I was talking to someone and this person, I won't say who it is not like a very, I would say with it in this aspect, and was like, well, I can't believe all this happened because of one guy. And I was like, well, there was also the other 400 years of other stuff that was happening. And this is just finally, catching up to, I think some people have to realize that this is just the current thing that's happening in the long history of things that have been happening, that going back to the very founding of this country,
And when you say the long history of things, let's fucking talk about how policing started.
Mm-hmm.
It was started to catch slaves.
Right.
Motherfuckers was chilling at night trying to catch us. We were caught, beaten for having a wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? Any gatherings, any type. And black people were able to be slaves by anybody. It was like we were like a fucking stray dog in this bitch.
Right. You look at the history of all, it's crazy that, the laws that were passed in order to ensure that a runaway slave was brought back to the owner. It's, a lot of our legal system is built around preserving the property of white slave owners,
And they went from policing to wearing Ku Klux Klan, being that, and wearing those fits, and now they're the boys in blue. So fuck the police.
Yes.
Period.
I wanted to ask, because when we thank you for being on the show, and when we emailed you, you said you wanted to be introduced as a black female artist using her resources to give back to the community. And Fumi and I, we also don't call ourselves activists. Maybe we need to start rethinking that. But you do you not consider yourself an activist? Do you not want to call yourself that, or is that not really the right question?
No, I think that I think it's just for me, being Afro Latina, being out here and having this need to like serve my community and everything like that is very important to me. But I respect activists too much. And when I think of activists, I think of Malcolm X. I think of Martin Luther King. I think of the 4 beautiful queer black women that started Black Lives Matter. You know, I think of Marsha P. Johnson. Like, I think of people like, I feel like activists dedicate their whole life now to the cause, you know, and I'm like, I feel like, you know, I make sure that I use my platform to only highlight diverse voices. That's been my whole purpose, my whole life. I've been doing that shit since I was 18. So that's always been important to me. And I feel like my realm is entertainment. You know, I want to change Hollywood, change the face of it. And I'm fighting every day for that. But I feel like to place the title of activist on myself, I haven't earned that at all. I feel like that is a fucking title. That is a level of work and dedication and commitment to the cause that I haven't even scratched the surface with. Yes, I do what I do with my showcases, but there are sisters and brothers out there that are on the ground every day, all night. Those are activists, in my opinion.
I totally hear you with what you said about being an activist. And I feel that you are doing something you can do in order to help the cause out. Not everyone can go protest. It's, you know, there's still the viruses that's still out there. I mean, it's not, maybe it's not healthy for some people. Maybe they just can't physically get there or what have you. There's a lot of...
Or they still have to go to work. My mom...
Yes.
What?
Yes.
My family can't... They have to go to fucking work. And there are a lot of people that depend on my fucking check.
Yes.
You feel me? When you are the first generation wealth, there's nobody in my family that makes money like me. And a lot of my family's hurting financially. I can't risk getting killed. I can't risk getting arrested. I can't risk getting my ass beat, suffering more mental trauma that I can't be able to go to work. Because I have to make money.
That's...
So it's still a privilege. Yes, more white people are out there, and you should be. You are the majority. So go out there. Ain't shit gonna happen to you. You could take off work.
That's a good point, because I saw something that went viral on LinkedIn recently. I'm on LinkedIn now. But this
I mean, listen, that's the safest place to be right now.
It really is. But this man who works for Facebook, he resigned, saying, like, you know, I just don't like where the president is standing with all this, threatening protesters with military law. And he said, I'm going to quit, which is awesome. But then somebody pointed out, you know, to your point, it's like, you know, that's a very white privilege thing to be able to do, quit a 6-figure job. Like some of us work for a guy who hates the minorities, but I've got no choice because I need money, right? And I never really thought of it like that. So yeah, I think that's certainly a really good point.
Yes, you're very much so privileged, and you're even privileged to say that shit online.
That's
the fuck, because you know, if somebody sees that shit, you're still gonna get a fucking job. I gotta have my shit in silence.
Yes.
I gotta quit on the low, and I better have a motherfucking plan B through D.
He ain't gotta
have no fucking plan. He's like, you know what? I'm quitting today. That's it. I've had it.
He still made it. He still made it about himself.
I'm fucking nervous and trembling, smoking cigarettes. Gotta make a goddamn PowerPoint presentation for myself on how the fuck I'm going to make money.
Yes, absolutely.
No.
What I wanted to get to was that there's a lot of different ways to contribute. You know, you're doing it through the writer's room. I think that's very powerful. I think, you know, a lot of Asian Americans, we're not known for often speaking out. Maybe it's because of what our upbringing, maybe it's because of our mentality. You know, when you're an immigrant, of course, you still have to worry about money. You know, that's definitely true. But I think a lot of Asian Americans are now, you know, we're starting to become more politically conscious. I think we're now starting to have our lend our voice. You know, but what would you say to those people, Asian Americans or not, who are maybe afraid of getting involved? You know, I think a lot of times, I know this was true for me, you know, I thought of it as like, well, I don't want to get into any kind of, you know, trouble or anything like that. And I had a privilege to be able to, it's a great privilege to not do anything. It's a tremendous privilege to just sit on the sidelines. And what would you say to people who are still kind of sitting on the sidelines?
I think that it's very convoluted. It's not really black and white when you're discussing people that are sitting on the sidelines. I think it's very difficult to go out and protest and risk your life, especially right now when the motherfucking dumbass president is tear gassing your ass.
Yes.
You know, like the land of the free, not for me, bitch.
Yeah.
So when so to the Asian Americans, non-Asian Americans, immigrants, you know, people that are fighting for their citizenship in this country, I think, you know, take a look. Take a look and really sit back and look and see what it is that you can do to assist the black community. Some people are artists. Some people post online. Some people are working hard to vote. Some people make a video. Some people are reposting how you can demand justice for Breonna Taylor, David McAtee, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. There is a way that you can get involved. And if you fucking think that this problem does not include you, that's where you got shit fucked up. The fact that this is a human, okay, is like we are being hunted and fucking like killed like cattle.
Yeah.
That should concern you. The fact that that doesn't prick your heart, you should check yourself.
Yeah.
You should really fucking see, because I hurt and I bleed for so many people of color when they're hurting, if they're not, even if they're not black. I think it's fucked up. When Asian drivers were telling me and my homies like, thank you for not denying my Lyft or my Uber when you saw my face. So many motherfuckers, and that fucking killed me.
Yeah.
That people were being racist and not getting into their Ubers and getting into their list because how fucking stupid, bitch. Like they've been to China.
Yeah.
You know how many motherfucking, and then you're being racist because how do you know that they're Chinese?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
That hurts me and I feel bad. So I feel like find a way to fucking speak up.
Yes.
If it's through social media, if it's in these fucking rooms, you should not be allowing racism to happen. And you, non-black people, Asians, you should be Googling, you should be researching. Fuck this model majority shit. Y'all should be dismantling that shit right now. Because they take that shit and that's how they use it as a blueprint to put against black people. Like, where Asians are doing well, they're really smart, they're doing this. It's like, it's two totally different struggles.
Yeah.
And I think that you bring up a good point there. You know, I think, you know, one of the reasons why maybe Asian Americans are uncomfortable being outspoken about this stuff is I think all of our parents bought into that thing you just described about the model minority. It's like, hey, we got our own thing. White people like us. Like,
model minority.
Right.
Sorry, I said model majority.
Yes, of course,
yes.
same thing, right? Like we get it. It's like, you know, it's like, no, we're good. Don't rock the boat, you know. And we don't really grow up talking about this kind of stuff, especially not politics, let alone race. We never talk about it with our parents. From just
oh, y'all don't?
Not. I mean, personally, no. I don't. Mike, what about you?
Not as enough.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you got a point. You got a point. Absolutely. I think that. Finish your point first. I wanted you to finish your point.
What, me? Oh,
yeah.
So yeah, I was just saying. I think, you know, Mike can back me up on this, but I think a lot of Asian people don't necessarily talk about politics or race at home, and that's very different from at least the black comedian friends that I have. A lot of them said that when they were like 10, their parents sat them down. They're like, look, like you can't be fucking around like your white friends because the police are gonna treat you differently. They have this conversation at such a fucking young age. 10, we're supposed to be watching Dragon Ball Z and like fucking around, like, but they were having these, right? And so that's like, in a weird way, like the childhood, the innocence was taken away from them at such a fucking young age, and it's fucking so horrifying,
that part.
right? But it's like because you know, I think with black people, you know, you talk about it with your family because what choice do you have as a parent? You gotta educate your kids so they don't fucking die, right? But for us, we don't have those conversations, and I think some of our listeners are trying to figure out, like, you know, how do we kind of start to talk about this with our families, even, you know?
You just do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody keeps telling me that, X, I don't want to be wrong. You don't have to be right, but you have to be verbal.
Yes.
Fucking say something. And even if you preface that shit, hey, I don't know what to say right now. And if something in this email or text message is wrong, please check me. But this is how I feel.
Yeah.
Black people, we are tired of doing the work for you, for whites and non-blacks. Do you know that I had to find out about Jim Crow after I was 21? That shit is not taught to me. We was reading fucking Crucible, Bless Me Ultima, Lord of the Flies, that bullshit.
Yes.
The fuck that got to do with me?
Yes.
Thank God for my AP English teacher, Miss Haparachi. She said, X, you need to read the autobiography of Malcolm X. A Middle Eastern woman told me. Like, what the fuck? And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all need to, if you think that they ain't gonna come for your ass, if all the Asians listening, if you think white people really fuck with you, you got shit fucked up.
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
if you think you ain't they motherfucking puppet that they dangling to be like, why aren't the blacks okay? Why are the Hispanics upset? Look at the Asians. If you think you ain't they fucking puppet, you got shit fucked up.
Yeah.
You really, really fucking do. White people don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
I think...
And you need to speak up for me when your ass is in private. When you with your fucking Asian homies or whatever like that and they say some racist bullshit. Because you're assisting to the fucking problem. And that's what I need. I need advocacy for me in private and in public. I put that video on my Instagram. Get ready to get uncomfortable. Please.
That's such a good point about speaking up in private, because right now there's a lot of people do stuff on social media. Hey, you like this or share this or whatever. And that's a public thing. But really the battle is in private when you're with your family, when you're with, your whoever it is, your uncle, your cousin.
Who you're fucking.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. All right. Whoever you're sleeping with, those is where that's really the battlefield, for change is right there. And it's a lot of times people are uncomfortable there, and that's if you're afraid of going out and you want to get tear gas, sure. But walk into the bedroom, walk into the dining table, sit down and have that talk. And it's going to be tricky, but other people have died, so you can do this. I think that's the way to think about it. I think too, this is just how I've been thinking about with Vietnamese people. Vietnamese people, we're very conservative. We live in Orange County, in Houston. And I think, and this is kind of wanted to talk to Vietnamese people, because some people have messaged me and wanted to talk about, how do you talk to Vietnamese people, my family, about these things. And I think Vietnamese people, we think that we are like, white people will back us up because of because of the war, right? And I think a lot of Vietnamese people think, oh, well, we're allies because we fought in the war on the same side. And now Vietnamese, we earned our way into this country through a war. But that's not how racism works. Like, a lot of people have fought because they wanted...
Hello, war. Excuse
yes.
me. We were fucking segregated. Do you know how it fucking feels to be segregated from a fucking person, and I'm fighting for them to protect them? To come back to a country that I fought for to not be free.
Yes, it's...
Fuck
yes,
you.
I mean, there were black regiments in the Civil War. They bled for their freedom, and they weren't even allowed to be led by black officers. And
got their medals.
Yes.
When they were dead.
Yes, exactly, and they never got medals. And this continues to go on. Like the Japanese Americans, they thought they could prove their loyalty, and they fought in World War II. And they were still in the camps. Vietnamese people, we think that we're going to be cool because we fought in the same war on the same side. But this coronavirus, this kind of, it made me realize that, like, all it takes is just a little bit of something, and the specter of racism suddenly shifts over to you. And I think Asian Americans, we know, we're like, oh, if we stick our head up, they're gonna like hit us in the head with a baton, and that's...
Well, be ready for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Be ready for that. My ancestors have been dying, have been getting killed. Be ready, do it, fucking do it. It can't be just us.
Absolutely.
Your goddamn president is out here saying Kung flu virus.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And
so get on board, Asian people. Now like you said, the Vietnamese people, Japanese people, black people. You need to know, to America, all other races is side bitches.
Yeah. Yes.
Please
Yes.
believe me.
Yes.
You had us in the war. You had the Japanese people in the war. But we are all side bitches to America.
Damn.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
they are married to racism, bitch.
Damn.
Fuck.
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's absolutely, please. So, I'm speaking to Asian Americans, speaking to Vietnamese people, like we're the side bitches, okay? And we can't be doing that.
Hello.
Wow.
and he let you know, Trump let you know you was a side bitch when he said kung fu.
Absolutely.
His wife, which is racism, was like, hey, don't be out here. Know who you with. Know who you come home to. And a black woman spoke up and was like, don't you think you calling it the Chinese virus, AIDS, and like racism and like disrespect and like possible like physical harm towards, Asian Americans? He says, no, I think they would agree. It came from China.
Yeah.
It's the Chinese virus.
Yep.
Like, you stupid ass bitch. The fucking world leaders, what is it, the G7 summit? Them motherfuckers couldn't even meet because the Trump administration said, no, you can't call it coronavirus. You have to call it the Chinese virus. Why the fuck would you try to remix the shit?
Yes.
When everybody been calling it corona, nobody will know what that is. And it's racist and it's fucked up. But who's out there protecting Asian Americans? Who spoke up? A black woman. So stop it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I was watching Hassan Minhaj's little bit on the whole George Floyd
I
thing.
haven't seen it.
And it's great. It was very informative.
Yeah, very powerful.
And yes,
I assume it was good. Hassan,
yeah,
I love when
he's great. And like obviously, at least in the Asian community, we're all talking about that Asian American cop who just sat there and watched George Floyd, right? I don't know if that's right. So there's that. But what I didn't know was the man who called the police in the first place was also of Asian descent. I'm not sure. He might have. I'm not sure what.
He's a South Asian. I
Asian
believe.
person.
I'm not sure.
Why did he call the police to be like?
Because he used the counterfeit money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or isn't that the accusation, or has that been found to be true that it was counterfeit?
That part I don't know, but in at least in the Hassan Minhaj the little segment, he was talking out. The bit was about the Asian cop watching, and also the person who called the cops on this whole incident. So that's all I know. I don't know if the counterfeit thing is true, or I don't know what happened there. Even if he knew that it was counterfeit, it's possible he didn't know. But
I had a counterfeit 20 before too. Like nobody
nobody fucking knows.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think there's that image. I have to admit, I haven't watched the whole video. I don't think I could do it.
I've never watched any of them.
I don't think you.
Philando Castile, none of them. I can't.
I saw Ahmaud Arbery, and I regret watching it. It's just a guy being murdered. I mean, what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to watch it. I know, what it is. But there's that image. There is an image, it's just a screen grab of the video with George Floyd, and he's on the ground. The officer's kneeling on his neck. And then, of course, we have the Asian officer turned around, not looking at it and keeping people away. And that is just, that like whole image is I'm afraid that is, a microcosm of what could happen with Asian people, not just not speaking up, but actively participating in like the murder of something, and, I feel like, you saw that image. I would imagine, what are your thoughts on how that image is,
I think for me, it's not just like coming at an Asian person, because in every minority, we got fucked up motherfuckers. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, we had Jussie Smollett. Okay. Okay.
Oh my God.
This motherfucker was out there, had motherfucking magazines and cutting out magazine shit, writing fucking fake threatening notes to himself.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not looking at, I think they're all fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at him as like, you Asian man specifically, because that's what white people do. I don't do that. I don't take an experience or something that happened with a group, with a person or a group of people at one thing and label an entire race
absolutely.
or nationality as such.
Yep.
So I do think that it was fucked up for all of them. I'm not singling out the Asian dude, but I think that what you said as it being a microcosm, and to me a representation of what a lot of people do when you sit there and by you being silent, you're being complicit.
Yes. Yes.
And for whatever it is, sir, whatever the fuck that dude, all the cops were going through to allow that shit to happen, to I don't know what other fucking PTSD, what other fucked up shit they had going on in their brain, to allow their coworker to kill somebody in front of everybody, and you're like, hey, you're a murderer, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm happy they've all been charged.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's hope that that continues. So it's I believe it, and this is June 6th, so I believe it's day 11 of the continuing protests. People are starting to say there's going to be changes. They're in New York, for example, they're pushing forward some legislation, banning certain chokeholds, that sort of thing. Where personally, I don't want you to feel like I don't expect you to speak for this whole movement or whatever it is, but where do we sort of go from here? Because people are talking about defunding the police. I'm into that. I mean, yes. I feel
get them out of here.
Get them out of here. Before the coronavirus, we're going to bring on 400 more MTA police, and I was like, I don't know what that's going to do. You can't baton a subway into working better. You should fund the subway, or fund homeless services, or fund the school systems. And if you're going to find money, why would we need more batons? We don't need more batons. We have a lot of batons. Where do you think, what do you want to see come out of acutely out of this? Where do we sort of go from here?
I would love, already right now, it came out that NYPD is having police officers are retiring at a high rate,
Yep.
So thank you. Get the fuck out.
Yep. Bye.
So defunding the police, absolutely. They're putting billions of dollars into the fucking police. So the mayor here gave $150 million, divested it from LAPD to put it in, not enough. I want billions.
Yeah.
I wanted all the money.
Yeah.
What it would take for, why do you think that, motherfuckers are getting targeted? You're going to communities that are less fortunate, that are not as educated, okay? You're going into hoods. Where I am right now in South Central, this is where you're going to get people and to grab them, all to fill a fucking quota. You feel me? And all this kneeling, fuck them cops kneeling. The same cops that was kneeling, I believe it was in Boston, people showed the next day, they fucking pushed this elderly old white man down, pushed him. All these fucking cops and this one old white man that's just walking, they pushed him down. His fucking head cracked open. There's blood on the concrete.
Yep.
Fuck y'all. And y'all talking about I'm a good cop. No, y'all all bad cops. Y'all all complicit. And Van Lathan said, he told some NBA player, he said, if all y'all on a team and one of y'all is raping kids and ain't nobody said nothing, are all y'all good?
Yeah.
No. So I would love defund the police. Everybody fucking vote. Know who your congressmen are, because we don't know that those are the motherfuckers that make the laws. The president and his ass just sign up on that shit. Educate yourself. And I think too, don't lose momentum. Keep this shit fucking going, because what I'm nervous about is that this whole thing happened and everybody's fucking Black Lives Matter, social justice warriors, fucking Twitter fingers, got their hashtags rolling for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I've been living this shit my whole life. Had a fucking gun pointed at me in my head at 16 years old.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, you just mentioned the Twitter fingers, and I got to talk about it just because it was a thing that was happening last week, with the Blackout Tuesday social media campaign where everybody posted
I know, I feel so bad for that sister who started it. It
was strange because I try to stay optimistic. I think that raising awareness is something, so I think that was fine. But then it seemed like an hour after people started posting it, we were getting in trouble for posting it or it wasn't enough, and then people were taking it down.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like,
I feel
what
so bad.
what was
I feel
I
so
don't think
bad.
what's the context on that? I don't know if you have more information, but
Yeah, it was started by, I believe, it was started by this black woman who, and I feel so bad for her. She ended up making a video later. It was for the music industry to shut down, not do any business transactions or whatever that day, and for all the white people in the music industry to basically go read Stamped. Go read fucking White Fragility. Go fucking look up a Nikki Giovanni fucking article. Like, do your job.
Yep.
And so then it like spiraled into this other thing that honestly people got mad for it. I had just posted the black square because that's the information that I got, and I put Black Lives Matter. Then somebody was like, take that down, please. Don't put Black Lives Matter because it fucks up, everything for everybody, and that's how we stay informed. But then somebody else told me, X, it is good because the cops be looking at the hashtag to go target motherfuckers, so it would be great to fuck up the algorithm and it's just all black. And then somebody was like, X, you gotta be able to put resources. Don't just put Blackout Tuesday. So I was getting getting critique on it, and finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that down. I do think because Jabuki had posted about it, and he was like, put resources, put stuff. And I was like, that does make sense. So I took my little square down, and my Blackout Tuesday thing got a lot of heat. Over 2,000 people saw it. So I was like, that was smart, because I put all these places they can fund. And I reposted it from Los Angeles Bucket List. So I have to cite them. So I thank them for making that. I just copied and pasted theirs and put it on my thing. And it had all these resources that they had compiled to help people. And I had over 1,800 shares. So it was great, because I was like looking, I'm like, I hope people are really using this, which is great. And so many people found it helpful. So I think whether I was just happy somebody posted something. There were white people that didn't know of, and they just posted it and was like Blackout Tuesday. I think, what is your intent? I feel so bad for that sister who started it, because she got a lot of flack and was getting so much critique for it. She was just trying to do a nice fucking thing. But she even mentioned in a video, through the game of telephone, it just transpired into something else. However you posted it, the fact that you participated in it, thank you.
Yeah.
I just think I'm weighing intentions before actions, and I'm just grateful some people did something. You're just trying. We're trying out here. Shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately, this is an example of there's limits to social media. I think it's about putting more resources into the hands of black people, into organizations that can do good. Because remember, this is still Instagram, and who owns Instagram? Right. Facebook, and who owns Facebook? The whitest man probably in the entire world. So
oh my God. He's literally a robot.
He's so white, he's a robot.
He's literally a robot. Yes.
Like iRobot starring Mark Zuckerberg.
I think there is more work to be done for sure. This is this is just to your point, X. This is just what's happening at this moment, and the momentum has to keep going, and this has to evolve. I think in a weird way, in the same way that we have to rethink how we do a lot of things because of the coronavirus, we have to rethink how we do a lot of things. That's real change. You can't just post a black square. You have to really defund the police. You have to vote. I think that I hope this is
vote, please.
Absolutely.
I just ordered my absentee mail-in ballot or whatever.
Yes.
And the thing is, Trump is out here trying to,
yes.
This motherfucker was mad at Vegas for doing mail-in ballots. He's like, let the people come. His fucking dumbass son was talking about my dad can't have his fucking rallies and shit. Like, he was his goddamn manager. Like, this motherfucker ain't a performer.
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But bitch, he's so stupid. Like, I don't even have anything. I just keep calling him a disgusting ass bitch. Like, I have no words. Like, you little dick, lower ass bitch. Like, I can't with him. I cannot with him. He told Melania to smile. Did you see that?
Yeah. I think you've got the perfect words. I think those are extremely good adjectives for this person. It's amazing.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Great. Well, I know you are busy. I think you. I want to thank you again for being on here and talking to us. I want to talk to our fans. I know usually we are a comedy podcast, but you know what? I mean, I want
ain't shit funny right now.
There's not funny stuff, okay? And I think there's work to be done. I hope
Absolutely.
that maybe some of our listeners who aren't sure, this isn't us versus someone else, or how come we're not getting ours and other people are. Everybody's on the same side. I mean, people of color, we're all on the same side. We're fighting racism.
Everybody versus racism.
Everybody versus racism.
And the thing is, people need to say it's not a people of color fight. Black people.
Yes,
say
absolutely.
Black.
Absolutely.
Say black. People need to understand, yes, people
absolutely.
of color, yes, but specifically, you need to say Black Lives Matter. When it comes to that, America has separated us.
Yes.
There's black people and there's people of color.
Yes, that's very true. Yes, absolutely. This is a for the Asian people. This is you do need to say it. Black Lives Matter. That's really important. Just that alone, I think, is going to be powerful. And then, of course, we're going to have to keep moving on from there. I want to ask, what are you? You're still creating, or what are you doing now for the next couple of months? How are you going to try to create? Because I know you're obviously still writing for the show. What else are you doing?
I think being plugged into the news enough, and what I do at work every day is just enough. I mean, it's very difficult to do my job right now because I'm very tapped in, because I represent most Black Americans. I don't have a motherfucking college degree. Mm-hmm. I'm at the Daily Show because somebody was willing to give me a fucking shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My job is a very privileged institution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt any other writer has ever worked there that didn't have a motherfucking college degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a lot that I'm doing, just working every day, trying to dig deep to find a fucking joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to write right now. I think one of my favorite playwrights, Dominique Mousseau, she was describing trying to write a play or figure out how to get better following on social media and shit like that us as artists do is the most artless thing she can think of doing. And when will we as artists get the time to really go in? I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy since August of last year is when I finally was able to do it. I'm meditating. I'm working out every day. I'm now eating primarily plant-based and just a little fish, which has changed my whole brain, emotions, and body exponentially. I'm just taking care of myself, Mike and Fumi. And I really hope your listeners who are artists, please listen to me when I fucking tell you. What's for you will never miss you. Mm-hmm. So please don't be out here thinking that you got to write this #1 script. If you don't come out of quarantine with a goddamn screenplay, if you're not coming out of here with 16,000 more followers on Instagram, you don't have a new fucking body. Fuck that. If all you do is survive this pandemic and race war, you've done your job. Mm-hmm. You did great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, you did great. And I think we need to do that more. And I think just focus on yourself, on your mental health, and continue to try to survive. That's all you can fucking do. All my artists out there, please be kind to yourself. When will you ever get this time again to just be, to just sit, to just take care of yourself? Stop that fucking hamster wheel, because that lets me know that you're operating from a place of anxiety and doubt. You think you're gonna miss something. You're not. I don't worry, and that's why I'm not competitive with anybody. I'm competitive with myself. I'm my own competition, like Cardi B said, because everything that I'm supposed to get, I get. And everybody listening, and you and Fumi will too. Mm-hmm. So stop it. Take care of yourself, please.
Well,
that's beautiful.
Definitely take care of yourself, because we need you. Okay, we need you.
I'm trying. God damn it! I'm about to eat some kale after.
Do it.
Jesus.
Do it.
I would just like to say to our listeners before we wrap this up. If you, I know some people are DMing us about questions about what's going on, how to talk to your parents and stuff like that. This is an open dialogue, so feel free to keep messaging us. Email us at asian.asianpod@gmail.com. Would love to keep this conversation conversation going. I think Xma, you've done, this was just such an enlightening conversation, and thank you so much for taking your time. And I guess, I don't know, I think my general thing is, you know, just like we learned with the coronavirus, you know, we learn to shift values and correct and course correct. And I think that we can do that as a society, you know, in terms of this race war that's happening right now. You know, it's like, it's like it's not, you don't have to make it's not that fucking hard to change the way you've been thinking. You just have to stop and be like, oh wait, this was all wrong. I didn't read these books in high school. Let me correct myself. It's not that hard.
Okay.
It's okay. Exactly.
We had to. We're black and we had to. So of course we don't expect Asian people or any non-blacks to. We didn't fucking know.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of people.
And don't put it on us.
Yeah.
Don't put it on us.
Yes.
Fucking teach you. Shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Even though we definitely put it on you to carry this podcast right now for us. My God.
But after moving forward, we will not. Moving forward.
But that's the thing. But let me tell you, as a black, I like you. If I feel like it, I make sure to meditate, and I gotta see where the fuck I'm at. And if I fuck with you, you guys both represent people that have a level of awareness and awareness of your ignorance, and you give a platform to fucking listen. So I don't mind that. You feel me? It just depends on how I feel, who you are, and what the day is like. If it's raining today, I might not feel like it. You know? So I don't mind with you all because I trust you all. There has to be a level of trust, especially right now because it's so sensitive for us.
Yeah, and do you, I mean, this is such a weird time to ask, but if, like, I guess, where can our listeners find you if they want to follow your work, follow your messages? Are you on Instagram?
Yes. Right now, all I am posting is racism is stupid.
Yep.
Like, all I have is
Perfect.
protests, riots, looting. I stand with all of them. I'm just constantly posting resources. I ain't got a fucking joke in me, so don't follow me for that shit. Stop it, please.
Yes.
That I don't know when that's gonna come again.
Yes.
Like 2020 is the year of change. A poet had wrote that, and there was like, what if 2020 isn't canceled? What if it's the year that changed everything? And it already has.
Yeah.
All 50 states was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
That is huge. So definitely follow me there. I will be, eventually with me and my homie Brandon, get this project that we have coming together out. We would love for people to post it and share it so that Black people know about it so they can participate in it. And, I think still continue to scream hashtag Black Lives Matter. And I think if you're going to follow me, bitch, follow the cause. Don't just follow me. Fuck that.
And we'll be sure to leave some donation links in the episode description if you guys want to support. And I think that concludes our pod.
I also have to say, because I know you got to go, but it's something very important. The Black Trans Lives Matter movement is not getting enough heat. Nina Pop, Tony McDade, and Iyanla Dior, who just got beat up by a mob of cis Black men in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is fucking up. Philando Castile, fucking George Floyd, and I was like, what is the fuck
going on? What's going on there, man? Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck. And I think that that's not being talked about enough. The hashtags for those names are so few, which is an issue amongst cis Black people. Hello. Okay, we don't talk about that. Let's talk about Black, not Black. Hello, it's another podcast. But I'm just like, I just feel like I cannot be on here, and this needs to be said in the podcast that our Black trans brothers and sisters deserve the same heat, the same movement. Asian, non-Blacks, you need to be screaming their name just as much. It is not fucking right. Our trans Black brothers and sisters are like more susceptible to be killed. They cannot get jobs. They barely probably can get something to fucking eat at McDonald's because transphobia is so just in the crux of so many people, and it's fucked up. So we need to also not just say Black Lives Matter, all Black Lives Matter. So all you all lives matter bitches, just put a Black in front of that.
Yeah, there you go. Just put a Black right in there. Absolutely.
Just throw a Black
just throw it in there.
Throw it in there. Toss it in there so that way we know you're here for the trans, the queer, the non-binary Black lives.
There you go.
All matter.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Thank you so much again, X, for coming on the show.
Of course.
And please take care of yourself. We're all gonna be back together one day. I know it, and it's going to be incredible. And I hope the world's a little bit better then. Otherwise, thank you to our listeners. A lot of you guys are getting involved and asking the right questions. So I think that's it. Anything else we should say? Fuck all the plugs we usually do.
Fuck the plugs, man. I would just say if you like this episode and you think someone else could benefit from this episode, please share us. Please share this. DM your friends, text your family. I think it's a great conversation starter.
Yeah, man.
X, thank you again. And we hope to reunite with you on a brighter day. So take care, everybody, and see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.